He said to me in a really, really blasé way that he wished that he'd never known me and that he'd just given my mum some money when I'd been born and then just kind of fucked off and left. And this was when I was in hospital for trying to kill myself. That was a pretty horrific thing to hear from my dad.
I got to a stage at some points where I just felt I didn't have a place on this planet.
When you're a teenager, no one gives you a set path of how you're meant to grow up. There are so many things that come up that are so confusing, and you think, oh, it's happened to me, what if it hasn't happened to someone else? Is this actually normal?
They excluded me, they would pick on me, bully me. I'd heard about self-harming and stuff like that. You just break open a razor and you had a blade.
And then I left home when I was 16, so that was the start of everything in lots of ways. I took a really big overdose. I woke up in A&E and then I was admitted to an adolescent unit the next day.
When you bleed, it releases the endorphins into your blood, so you get that high feeling. I did it when I felt low, I did it if I had a bad day. At a stage, I was doing it daily.
As soon as I got out, my dad kicked me out and my mum cut contact with me and my dad cut me off as well, so they weren't involved anymore.
I got speaking to someone in high school. I became a good friend with them and they gave me a web address and they said go there.
I just was looking for advice and information and help.
And that website turned out to be the site.
They have discussion boards, so I went on there.
I think the first time I used it was probably about eating habits, perhaps about relationships, sexual relationships especially.
I had a read of some of the people's stories and I realised it's not just me.
I've looked around their forums before and asked a couple questions perhaps, which I might not divulge.
People just don't know you, so it's safe.
They will never know who you are, so the questions you ask are completely private.
It had advice from people who had gotten out of it, beaten it and got through it.
But the fact that you can relate to each other is incredibly powerful.
The fact that you don't feel that other people will be judging you for asking these certain questions.
I didn't feel alone.
The way that the site is written and the articles that it has are all so relevant for young people today.
It's like a massive archive on there.
A really knowledgeable parent who knows everything about everything.
It's not patronising and it's not belittling.
I don't know where I'd be. I know that I wouldn't be in the position I am today, nowhere close to it.
It's the best resource I found on the internet.
I would have nothing that I've got today if it wasn't for the site.
As impersonal as it may be, it's also very personal.
It's a good job it's there.
So it is the biggest, more than my parents, I would say, you know, the biggest influence in my life, and it has been because of everything that I've received from it. And it scares me too much to think about what it would be like if I didn't have the site, or if I hadn't had it when I needed it.